Previously on Dances with Dice, when last we left our heroes, Felix, the human bard, Theo, the satyr ranger, and Doran, the Ganassi fighter. Our heroes regroup, and after giving a dragon a long-awaited chance at a Crashout, our heroes have journeyed to meet with Bean and Lord Harlan, as our heroes discover new changes in their vampiric friends' lives. The next steps of their journey approach ever so slowly, as our heroes ready themselves to continue their exploration and head towards Covenheim. What dangers and discoveries await our heroes this week on Dances with Dice? We return. You guys are in the kitchen. You're everyone's still sort of standing around after Doran has finished his drink, and you guys have sort of like had your conversation. I guess my question to everyone would be, is there anything else you need to take care of here at the castle before you start heading off and making your way towards the towards Covenheim? Any other conversations you might need to have, anything of that nature?
Don't think so.
Not to my knowledge.
Doran, what about yourself?
No.
Okay. Easy enough.
No.
I'll say, since it's about mid-after, since it was morning when you left the Wormspeak Fortress, I'll say it's about afternoonish here when you depart from here. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Just random coughing fit.
Die bad.
The
These
path,
gays, they're trying to kill me.
ironically enough, the path that takes you away from the castle, it takes you actually out of the mountains, just on the edge of the Godswood, and you guys end up making your way through a small town that has been burned to a cinder. And as you guys arrive here after exiting the mountain, it takes maybe about a half day's journey or so. So you'll actually have to end up camping here for the night. Braneth sort of stops you as you guys sort of approach the edge of this village as you emerge from the woods. It's like, right, fuck. As you lot hear what happened to Ardenvale?
Yeah.
It was intact.
Yeah, it's the I think, well, I know this is the epicenter for the start of all these draconic attacks on the country. He sort of starts walking in. I was with the company, and we sent on a job out here. He sort of points like sort of between two burnt buildings, heading off into the woods. You head that direction, I'll say about 2 days march into the woods if you know which way you're going. In there is it's a ritual spot for anyone who's ascending to be a brother within the company. We were sent out here because there's some air elementals doing some wild shit.
What sorts of wild, oh, I can't say that word in this accent. Shit.
Weren't acting the way that they should have been. Like, air elementals, like, I mean, they're guards for the most part when you're talking about, elemental planes, but like,
they are sentient, knowledgeable beings. Like they're not. It's not like you're talking to a rock or something. Like it. They were very specifically guarding a place. And he sort of like looks left and right. It's like somewhere in the Godswood, there is a mountain made entirely of Aftermeria. And we fucking found it. But erupting out of that same mountain, that's where the fucking dragons came from. That's where these fucked up air elementals were coming from. Our mission told us that, I don't know, some weird, maybe thinning of the barriers between planes or some shit was going on. I don't know. But all I know is we come here to Ardenvale, kill these air elementals, we find this mountain of Aftermeria, like a hollowed out mountain peak, and at its center is just a giant, like, as much Aftermeria as you would have found in one of the, like, veins of the mines when they first opened, like, life-changing amounts of money available here. And then it started glowing, started making weird noises, and we left because our job was done. As soon as we get back to Ardenvale, boom, boom, big shadows flying overhead, fire and ash raining from the mountains. City burned. They all head to Covenheim and Marishane. And the next thing you know, well, boop. I mean, well, some of you were there. When, well, the world ended. He sort of like trails off, and you just see him staring into that, like, sort of like hole in like that space in the woods where he sort of motioned. There's something not right about this place.
Didn't she say?
Oh,
Theo, didn't you say the insides of the fake dragon, or made
Aftermeria.
of Aftermeria? Yeah.
yes.
Nori's just kind of sitting there, like nods like sagely, like kind of at your elbow, Doran.
Mm-hmm. Aftermeria is the most powerful magical material on the planet.
So, I mean, it makes sense why the dragons come from that, but why was it there? What was it doing there? And why did you just leave it there if it was?
I mean,
Yeah, your job was done, but that's who in their right mind just leaves that much Aftermeria?
brother, if we could have fucking taken it, we would. Oh, and when I'm telling you, it's a mount. I'm talking like, and he pulls out a sketchbook, and like he sketches like the side of a mountain, like a facsimile of a side of a mountain that's like hollow, and then like he shades in like to the walls of the mountain, like what was Aftermeria. It's almost like a giant, like almost like a crystalline tree inside this mountain holding it up is what this Aftermeria sort of formed. And so it's like, it's like he looks around, like opens his bag, and you see like a couple of like maybe like head-sized chunks of Aftermeria like just in his bag. It's like, we took what we fucking could. When I tell you it's a fucking mountain. It's a mountain.
If I recall correctly from that one shot, they also were helping people escape the fires at the end.
Actually, yes, that is also true. He's also says like, as we killed the elementals, that was when we started hearing the screams of fire and ash started raining out. Like, we had to protect the town. We had to protect. We protected Ardenvale, and every intention of going back, but we went back to Marishane, reported our findings, were literally in the conversation with High Lord Boros on requesting leave of absence to go back and hopefully start making some fucking money when the motherfucker turned into a dragon right in front of my eyes. I then also turned into a dragon as a stress response, apparently. And
You know, when you turn into
Well-
a dragon because you're stressed out.
I mean, you kind of know what happened. Well, not you specifically, but like, I mean, I imagine. Well, I mean, where were you when old dragon shit happened?
Marishane.
No, I know where you and you were. You two rescued me, but you're new. Sorry, Doran, but you are a newer
Doran.
face. So, like, I mean, like, were you in Marishane? Like, where were you?
Dorn's just going into his like fucking
Oh, right.
PTSD brain.
Oh yeah, the original trauma.
You mean watching all? You mean me watching like all of my friends die, as shit collapses on them.
Yeah.
Just
It's just
so where were you, Doran? And he's just like, it just slowly like pans in on like Doran's face. It just suddenly you just see like the just destruction of Covenheim.
Doran is the Vietnam War meme of just like that dude like staring up and like all the destruction's happening behind him. It's like, I was in Covenheim.
I was doing stuff. I was busy.
But Brandon sort of looks around and is like, I think it's still out there, obviously, but yeah. Something's not right about this place.
All right, let's go.
Oh, no. We should absolutely be staying the fuck here, mate.
No, you don't understand. You're new, and we need. Well, you're old, new. You're new to this information.
You're old new.
Yeah. We have to look at it. We have to check it out. That might have clues to where your mother got her dragon.
Ah.
I don't want to either. But we have.
Felix is like, yes. One last second.
Not my
culture-
problem.
No, and like Nora and like Brandis is like, all right, let's go. And he starts walking towards that direction that he was sort of staring at.
Remember when Theo was obsessed with dragons?
And then dragons actually happened and you realized, oh, it's so much more complicated.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't
Anyway.
as fun as I wanted it to be.
Now she's like, I see dragons like twice a day.
It's like, this is less special than I thought it would have been.
Yeah.
He starts taking you into the woods.
Oh no.
Oh, also, I guess I'll retcon. I think I said 2 days journey. It's only a couple hours journey. I'm very dumb. It takes about 2 hours. The sun is just starting to set as you arrive at the mouth of like sort of of almost like a split mountain, almost like two plates almost pushing together, and there's like a fissure in the rock that forms a crevice that you're kind of slipped through. Nori has no issue. Brandith has no issue. Felix does not have too much of an issue. Doran and Theo, you guys are a little bit taller, so you kind of squeeze and have to sort of crouch down and like a little waddle walk as you make your way through to start.
Wah, 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 wah.
And as you guys are making your way through
Think,
this like
think.
crevice and cave, it opens up into a bit more of like a wider, like maybe like 3 or 4 person across cavern as Brandis sort of leads on. About 15-20 minutes into walking through this cavern, Theo, you feel like a tug at your like sort of like sleeve as Nori sort of like taps the side of her head. She's like, I can taste weird magic in the air.
Does Nori does Theo taste magic?
You can you can feel like again, you can kind of feel, everyone can feel it, like the sort of pressure of just naturally occurring magical energy in the air is almost oppressive. It's almost like humidity, almost. It's like walking through very, very humid air. You can feel the magical pressure in the air. Nori specifically, because dragons, they survive by eating magic. They can actually feel sort of like the different wavelengths of it. It's just like, it's something it's not rotten. Because rotten implies it went bad. Something's bad, but it's natural. Like the bad is supposed to be there. I
You're
don't
saying the air is spicy.
Like cocaine.
It's like she sort of like looks around, and it's like she like looks at Brannith, any one of the rocks. Like hands are like a small, like little, like maybe like palm-sized pebble of Aftermeria. Thank you. And she eats the Aftermeria.
Okay, Spike.
She
From My Little Pony.
she eats the Aftermeria, and she like chews on it a little bit, and she like swallows, and it's like, and she immediately vomits up, like she immediately vomits up, and then like spits a little bit of fire on the wall, and things like, it's like
Oh my god, you're right. Oh my god.
Why?
yuck.
Why did you think that was a good idea?
Because that came from, and like you guys have kind of stopped walking as you have arrived at the chamber, and you guys see sort of at the center of this mountain, you guys now realize you're kind of like in like the base of a peak. You can't really see the top of it, it's so tall. But at the center of like this mountain, there's like a almost shooting up like a Christmas tree out of the ground is this spiraling fir tree almost of Aftermeria. It rises all the way to the top of the mountain, disappears out of sight, and like the branches of this fir tree almost appear to be like holding up the walls of the mountain. But in between each of the branches, you can see like almost floating in the wind, like the pine needles of Aftermeria as well. So it's almost literally like a living tree of Aftermeria within this mountain that is being held up. It's like that, the rock came from that, which means there's something wrong with that. Oh, there's a lot of that. Oh boy.
Is this what
As
you
the
saw when
only
you were here
caster-
before, or is there something different?
Sorry, what was that? Sorry, I heard that question, Doran. What'd you say, Morgan?
As the only caster of the group, do I feel stronger than God right now?
You honestly, as you kind of like, I would almost say like, Felix, you like run like your finger through the air, and you watch as like just by like moving your hands, like a spell is almost naturally starting to form. Like you're like, I would say like it's almost like a tick of your own that like maybe like one of like your personal ticks is like you'll just like do the finger like or you'll make the motions for spells. But like knowing that they have verbal components or like material components, nothing will happen. You notice like you start just like going through like the motions of shatter, and you can feel the spell starting to form at your fingertips. No verbal components, no material components required. You can feel yourself able to cast magic just in the room.
You would not have to use a spell slot.
We're
Everything's
never
can-
leaving.
Everything's cantrips in this case.
But Brandon is sort of like taking it all. It's like, no, this wasn't what it looked like. It wasn't a tree. It was just a big slab of a wall. Like I didn't even. He walks back to the entrance of the cave and then like walks like maybe like 10 feet in. This right here, like he stops 10 feet in and like draws like a little semicircle on the ground. It was a wall of Aftermeria. Just like you'd be chipping through it for fucking years before you would have hit this. This is what the fuck happened?
Someone came mining. with very powerful tools, perhaps?
Look around, see what I'm going to he walks towards the base of the tree. It's like, I'm going to try something. And he sort of steadies himself, holds his hand out, and he touches the base of the tree, and you watch as his eyes sort of like begin rolling back as he begins almost communing with the Aftermaria. I would like everybody, please roll me investigation checks.
He's having a little tree chat.
Have a little tree talk between
A
girls.
little. Between the girlies. Between dudes.
What'd you say?
Between
Investigation?
Investigation.
7.
6.
6.
Ooh, I rolled pretty
17.
okay, but she's a dumb bitch, so.
So Doran, you said 17.
Yeah.
I also got 17.
17. Okay. Felix.
Well, wait, no. I had +3 investigation. I thought I had a +1. I had 19.
Nice. Okay. Felix, you are very much kind of like, you're having fun with like the spells and things. But you do, I would say with the 6, the one thing you notice, it's like, hang on a second. You like run your hand down the wall. There's like a lot of grooves and gouges and scratches in these walls here. Just like, huh, that's weird. Like you look at that, then your eyes just like your eyes do like the travel thing. Like your head stays in the exact same position, but your eyes moves and your eyes just swipe to the right towards Nori. Then back to the scratches on the walls, back to Nori. Oh, that makes sense. This is probably where the homunculi were born, and they like busted their way out. With a 17, Doran, you go searching around like kind of like the base of the tree. It's just like, okay, I don't know what I'm looking for, but I'm looking for something. I think your mind settles in. It's like, okay, the giant magic tree is completely natural, which means everything about it is natural. What is unnatural from the giant crystal magic tree? You start looking around and it's like, that looks unnatural, as you see several like depowered shards of Aftermaria on the ground in set in very specific locations. So like they are equidistant apart and parallel to each other. And you're like looking around and it's like, this is really weird. And then you see where Theo, you are standing with a 19. You sort of like walk forward a little bit and you look down at your feet, and you would know what a broken dragon egg looks like anywhere. As
Gasp.
you look down at your feet, and where Theo is standing, Doran, you see that the two ends, those two like small piles of rocks that you were looking at, they form the ends of the triangle on the other side. And as you see like Theo gasp and sort of notice the egg, you look down at yours and it's like, hold on. And you like start picking up the rocks. You like put them back together a little bit. They sort of naturally form up as you have two piles of small rocks that look like perfect facsimiles of dragon eggs that were once made out of Aftermaria.
They carved eggs out of Aftermaria and then used some sort of magic to birth the false dragons.
From your mother. So one of them's real, right?
But
There are shards of the real dragon egg there for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like they somehow used the real. Well, that's also maybe how she got hers to awaken. Or I don't know. This is weird.
no, it's possible. It's possible she replaced them. Because otherwise she would have. That's the only difference. She would have hatched if she had an egg that she could hatch on her own. It would have hatched years ago. It's possible that the Aftermaria could have been used to, in place of the connection you're meant to create with the dragon.
Theo, with that, and actually Doran, you kind of walk over as well, as you guys are both conversing about this. Both of you look down. These shattered remnants of the dragon egg are green. Theo's mother's dragon was black.
Did
What?
the remnants of the real dragon egg.
Yeah, no, I heard you.
Hmm.
I heard you, bro.
What color were her sister's dragons?
They were all three were black.
Where's the green
So
dragon?
there's dragons we haven't seen yet.
There's a green dragon out there somewhere.
Maybe these
Can I tell how old how recently this egg hatched?
Roll. Actually, no. With your 19 with investigation, since you all discovered this, no, this is a fresh hatching. This like looking at this, like it lines up with like if there was like a theoretical timeline in your head, like if you're running back from like, okay, 6 months ago, the attack on Marishane happens. You know, like you guys are doing your own thing. It's been almost 6 months. There exists a window in time your mom could have gotten back here. Like it's not an old egg. This is not some old hatched egg like a dragon escaped here millennia ago. This is new. This is fresh hatching. Even Nori walks up and like eats the edge of the shell. It's like, they did something.
That was basically like eating. You know what
Chickens
we
do that all the time.
Yeah,
they
that's
eat
weird.
the eggshell.
Yeah, it's a source
Chickens
of calcium.
eat their own eggs all the time.
Massive source of calcium.
Gonna eat.
It is a very frequent thing that if your chickens are laying more eggs than you can eat, you feed them back to them. Chickens don't care, they're
We're
freaks.
also making a big assumption here. That these are your mother's sisters. This has anything to do with your mother. This could
Well-
also be... Your mother thinks she's fighting the return of the cult. But what if this was them? This is the way they came.
I don't
know,
like
there's
that. I don't like that one bit.
And then your mother did it a different way somewhere else. Because this coincides with the original attack. If your mother had dragons during that, or maybe she did it after, maybe she did it... I don't know, this brings up more questions, but we also have to figure out, maybe it's a source of how the original dragons came back in the first.
Possible. We once prevented a resummoning. I think we've done that twice now. Prevented the resummoning of dragons. I don't know my own accent.
As all of you are sort of pondering this, Brent, you hear from the center of the room, Brad's like, oh, fuck.
Are you alright?
I think so. What did you guys find out?
I just point at the egg pieces.
Oh shit.
We're still trying to piece things together.
Oh,
be
they
honest.
weren't. Oh god, I was hoping that was a hallucination.
What did you wait, did you see something?
So, you know how before the world was shattered, there was the seed at the center of the world, the world seed that, you know, it's where
Yes, of
Aftermaria
course.
comes from.
Of
Aftermaria
course.
comes from, all those things, the source of all magical power, etc.
Yes. Of course. We all knew that. Yes.
It was
Oh,
an
the time
actual. It was an actual seed.
The time knife.
No,
We've all seen the time knife.
yeah, this is very much time knife. This is almost time knife. What I've basically described to you, all of you absolutely as characters know what the world seed is. It's like, oh yeah, no, the world seed. Yeah, no, of
The
course.
time knife.
No, it was called that because it was true. It was a seed to grow into a tree designed to empower everything.
Sorry we didn't get that right away, Zach.
No, it's okay. It's fine. See, this, and he points at this is the tree. Gods broke the world, apparently did not break the seed.
They
And the
plant tree.
Seed flew into mountain and
I hate when
made tree.
seed fly into mountain.
I'll kill you.
Oh,
So he looks over at you, Doran, and you, Theo's like, definitely your mother, but your mother used, whatever was here before, the wall of Aftermere, that is what your mother used. The tree. She sacrificed the egg to summon forth something.
Killed
It's a dragon. Yes, it is a dragon. But it's not a dragon. That. And you actually hear like almost midway through like his speech, like his voice suddenly shifts back into Brandon. It's like his voice shifts back. It's like, it's not a dragon. It's oh god, what is it? Was no, and he's like hitting the side of his head. Is like, don't fucking go, don't no.
Oh, you got one of those too, huh? I haven't spoken to mine in a minute.
What?
There's
I said that
Never
with
mind.
my.
there's a voice in here. It came from that. Your mom did something with that egg and summoned something dark, something from beyond the plane. Not even the gods. It's something more than that. She is like a darkness. And that's what made the dragons what they are. She was able to use one dragon egg to hatch, I'll put that in quotation, hatch a dragon. The darkness infected it, and with its power, unveiled the tree and created these two homuncular dragons that were powered from whatever leftover Aftermaria was around.
Pretty good.
I think so. It's a world tree. It's a link in the same way that the world seed powered magic within our own world. I think this does something similar. Look, and he runs over to like where like the base of the tree is, and like he takes out like a knife and like he digs up like a single like cobblestone almost, and you can see underneath that cobblestone, you see almost like roots of the tree, crystalline roots running beneath the ground, like heading out from this tree as though like spreading out through, like in wrapping around the entirety of the planet, almost. It's like, I think.
So has the tree always been here, and it's just been
I think so.
revealed?
But
And also, is the tree okay because of what Nori said, that stuff from here isn't quite digestible?
and it's just Nori, like
It's the world
Nori kind of at your elbow. He,
And if
he-
the tree isn't okay,
the tree's hurt, definitely. There is a disease in its rot, in its roots. There's something dark about it, but the voice kept repeating. Tree brings life. Tree brings magic. Save the tree. Tree brings life. Tree brings magic. Save the tree. Shut up. Shut up.
What's the world seed? The world seed probably birthed would it not birth the world tree?
I think so.
So of course it's fucking important.
You would. Don't yell at me. You were talking to someone who wasn't me, and now I'm me again, okay? He pulls the Aftermaria that he had collected from this thing previously and like sort of sets it on the ground. It's like, I don't know. You lot take a look at this.
look. Oh, fine. What is it?
So he sets out like there's like 3 rocks of Aftermaria that he's collected. You don't even, there's no checks for this. You guys realize you can tell it's Aftermaria. It has that same like, you know, rainbow shimmery pattern to it, that sort of gallium like coloration effect. As you look at the tree, there is none of that, like the tree itself has like none of that metallic sort of tinge to it. There's a purity to the crystal. So like normally where if you look at like one of these Aftermaria rocks, you see veins of crystal embedded in stone. The tree itself is entirely crystalline in structure. But what you do see now, seeing like the difference between the two rocks, you see the tips of the branches of the tree, like some of the needles are starting to almost petrify and take on that same rock-like sort of consistency and hue. So the tree is slowly starting to morph almost into what you traditionally know Aftermaria to look like. More rock than living crystal, whereas the tree is living crystal turning to rock.
Hey, Boise.
Didn't have enough fucking problems.
Got an idea. Actually, fuck this.
I'm gonna go open a bakery.
It's like in our very first episodes when Felix had a crash out and he's like, let's go be farmers somewhere and die boring lives in the woods. Felix is really getting back on board with that original idea that he had where we should go fuck off to some tiny little hamlet somewhere and die boring lives instead of all this.
Hey, Doran, you weren't here for this the last time I did it. Finian was here
Yeah.
anyway. You get to enjoy this too.
let
We
me
should be
repeat myself.
farmers.
Let me encore.
A new audience. Hello, Sharks.
Entirely.
Hello, Sharks. I have an idea.
Pull out the lute and I'm like, let me play you a little tune. Fuck this, we're going to die in here. Wing.
Twing, twang, twing-a-twang.
Is Felix actually doing this?
Yes.
Sure, why not?
Because Doran has shit to save.
Oh, absolutely. He is having a minor crash out.
Crash Out Part 2.
Yeah.
Boogaloo.
As if Felix's life isn't a series.
Felix, we
of
can't do
crashes
this
out.
again.
Ah!
Felix! No, come back to me, Felix. Come on.
It's the Brooklyn Nine-Nine scene where he's interrogating the guy and he's got the guitar and he's just strumming it and just ah!
What are you gonna do?
Lute
Scream at
noises in the
him?
background.
Huh?
What are you gonna do? Scream at him?
Doran slaps freaking Felix across the face
Snap!
and just grabs
Snap
him
out of
and
it.
pulls him and he's just like, if I have to deal with this, it just like looks up at everything and he's just like, you have to deal with it too.
Yes!
I will not be alone in this, you
Oh,
fucker.
there's some character growth right there. There's
No,
Doran.
I don't wanna!
He flails his little arms.
I love that. I adore that. It's just like it's like Doran's just like, it's like, oh boy, Alex is about to say something. Big character moment. Will it be inspiring? It was like, no, it was perfect. It's like, listen here, you
Yeah.
little shit. We are in this together.
I had to be pulled through a portal for this shit.
You don't get to give up.
I was pulled through a portal out of my home, and I was thrust into this shit with you people. You do not get to crash out. I decide when we crash out.
If anyone quits first, it's me. Get in line.
Last to hire, first to fire. Like,
Oh, I love it, Doran. That was amazing. I see. Nori's gonna walk up. Nori's gonna walk up to the tree, and it's like she takes like a. And she does like a big
Oh my
lick
God.
of the side of it.
you licked the spider.
She licks the side of it, and she like sort of like stumbles back, and it's just like.
No.
And she sort of stumbles back. She turns back towards you guys. You watch as like her normally like her human eye, her eyes shift
Real
from
high.
Her
I
eyes
don't-
shift. Her eyes shift from human to draconic back to human, and now they split. One iris is like a draconic iris, one iris is her human iris, and she's like, "Oh,
Oh no.
oh, uh-huh.
Oh.
No, that's mean.
The voices.
You're rude.
Voices. The voices.
No,
Stop
well,
it.
Theo will stop you.
I don't like this.
Wait, how'd you know that?
Stop it. Should Theo lick the rock too? Are we all gonna just lick it? Does she need to lick that rock so she can participate in this conversation?
No, she's like, and then Nori eventually's like, no, bad. She blinks, and then her eyes go back to normal. It's like, yeah, there's something real mean inside that.
Oh my god.
It's so mean.
Look.
Yeah.
Don't lick it.
I may not know much about this.
You just gestured to all of me.
Yes, but if I had to take an educated guess, it would be that something evil has been summoned into the world, therefore a tree, and now we have to get rid of it.
Yes, you are right. Actually, that's what
Evil.
the voice. Actually, that's what the voice said, Doran. Though, the voice was like way more.
Ha ha ha. You will never be able to stop me. I have infected your world tree.
Oh, I hate when they do that. It's so
No, yeah,
annoying.
it was really weird. Theo, why did they keep referring to you like they knew you?
So if we,
Everyone
Nori,
pretends
Nori?
like they know me.
Nori,
Yeah.
are the fake dragons? Well, we're gonna use that.
Yeah, they're fakers.
Are
Fakers.
the
Posers.
fake dragons and potentially the real one?
The real fake.
Yeah, the real fake. Are they the anchors of what is holding? Points at the tree.
Oh yeah.
The
Um,
evil to our plane?
Yes.
Is that how it
Kind
works?
of. The badness.
How do we get rid of it?
Oh, no, that's a good question. Hang on, let me say it. The evil knows Theo and said that Theo is their mother. But the fakers are not an
Very
anchor.
concerning. Dora's like, what?
Theo's like, I have never given birth a day in my life. I reject that statement.
Doran doesn't know this, but like, Finian's like, Bargash! No.
Bargash!
Yeah. She's like,
Bargash, hey, Bargash is not the evil one.
No, Bargash is not the evil one.
But we did learn she had a second passenger, hence what the gobbledygook
Yes. She's like,
that's in her
Did-
veins.
so like the
Yes,
evil,
I love you too, Scout.
the evil darkness.
Something fell off of a shelf and it was very scary, and she's
Oh.
going through it.
For the podcast audience, Morgan's dog Scout had a very scary incident. It now leapt up into their lap and is receiving all the love because an item fell off a shelf, and it's very adorable.
Very scary.
It was so scary.
You're so brave, Scout.
Nori looks at this thing. The evil is in the tree because if the evil takes over the tree, it controls all the magic. Because all the magic comes from the tree. Technically. the dark, the evil, the fakers are like anchor points for it to influence the world, but it won't kill them. We need to... Hang on, what did the voice say? What did the... Because the voice said something that made
Hold on,
no
let me
sense.
check with the voice.
But made no sense to me, but it might make sense to you. It's like, hang on.
No silly draconic magics can possibly stop me. No dragons exist in this world that can face their lord.
Anyway, it was weird like that. So I figured, like, whenever big evil bad guys, especially in the stories that Grandpa's read me, what's it? Monologuing? Usually that means there's something in the monologue will help you stop them. That's how the stories work.
No dragons can face are you saying that even the voice was a dragon lord?
It did sound like it. It sounded like
Can I make a history check? Cause
Sure.
is there like a lord of all dragons?
there. You may absolutely roll history checks. Everybody can actually.
This like Tasha's baddie.
That's not that great. 12.
12.
12. History.
Actually, with dragons, you have
66.
advantage. Theo.
Oh, that's right, because I knew about.
You've read all
15.
there is to know.
Not 20.
With a 12 and a 15, both Felix and Dora, and you're just like, the Lord of the Dragons is a title that like Chromatus used at one point, but again, like Chromatus has a title, it calls itself Chromatus, but like it's just like maybe it's
Chromatus.
Maybe it's Chromatus, but Chromatus, yeah, maybe it's Chromatus, but Chromatus is Chromatus. I don't know. It's a disembodied voice in a tree. Maybe it's just being weird. Theo, you, as soon as you hear the Lord, like the Lord of Dragons, and it's just like
Lord of the Dance.
So he was like, wait a goddamn second. You remember like a crackpot theory you read in like some dragon hunter's journal that like a disgraced, like the disgraced dragon hunters journal, like full of crackpot theories, all of them proven to be complete lies and like outright falsehoods almost. But the one thing that you remember out of that's like, wait a minute, the Lord of Dragons. Chromatus is the father of dragons. They are not the Lord of Dragons. The Lord of Dragons is whatever created, like the Lord of Dragons is whatever created the dragons, and normally that's the gods. But
wait a minute.
if you're referring, it's like, in like this whole theory basically laid out, it's like, hang on a second. If the theory is that gods created the dragons, then why would the Lord of Dragons just be referred to as God, as like whatever god it was? And the theory in here was there was a third power in the universe that also created the gods and created the dragons as well. And you think about and
we're facing Super God,
and then that was the
It's
and it
super
was-
duper God.
and
Like,
it was the Lord.
not just regular God.
It was referred to this dark entity, this dark creative entity, this primordial sort of power was referred to as the Lord of the Dragons in this book. And that sort of like jumps out at you. It's just like
And I'm the Lord of the Dragons mommy? Like
the
Are you?
no, and it's like, and you think about that for a moment. It's like the Lord of the Dragons, dark power. It came from and you think back to the training you went through and the rituals, the magics and cleansing rituals you went through to become a worm speaker, purging yourself of all your old things, your old life, your old spirit, and whatever dark passenger that was there along with Bargash might have gotten purged along with you.
Oh my god, are you Naruto?
am I Naruto?
Are you carrying an evil spirit to trap
Did
it?
I have Did I have the Naruto
Why was Super God inside you?
Why did I have Super God? Why was I incubating Super God?
You're Naruto, motherfucker.
Believe it.
Also, why would Super God, who is apparently also evil, create a universe only to want to destroy it?
I don't know.
I'm so confused.
Here's the thing. I love that
My
you're calling
ninja info cards.
I love that you are calling them Super God. They're not necessarily Super God.
They're super duper God.
You're basically like the creator of gods and dragons.
No,
is this other entity called the Lord, and you're like,
The Lord.
It's
so you mean Super God?
It's not quite. It's more. I feel
You mean evil Jesus? Open
Yeah,
up.
you mean evil Jesus?
Jesus, but evil.
Here's the thing. There's probably a Super God. This isn't Super God.
This probably Super God, but this ain't it.
I think this was more be the Super Devil.
He's not denying the existence of Super God.
I'm not denying Super God. This is not them. This would be more Super Devil. To put you more on a better trajectory for your theory crafting.
Okay,
think Super Devil versus Super God.
So you mean originally there was two entities. One of them created. Okay.
I think a better name is Super Satan.
Super Satan. I'm now just imagining Super Saiyan Mr. Satan. We can't call it that.
Super Satan.
It's over 666.
It's over 6,000. No, it's over.
Morgan, I'm sorry. Come back.
So there. Okay, yeah. I guess let me rephrase that. There are two primordial entities that seem to exist outside of gods and dragons.
Outside of
those
Pantheon.
Those are the actual creators. How they did this creation and that sort of thing. But like, yeah, the evil part of that yin yang is the spirit that was trapped within Theo and has since been released.
Wait a minute, I thought I still had Bargash.
And how the fuck did it? And how the fuck did it get in the tree?
Oh.
How the fuck did it get in you?
Many questions.
What did your mom do? Who was your dad?
We all just talked about that outside of character. What does Theo actually tell us?
Listen, I don't know how anything. One time, my mother and I visited the cracks of Metalis, whatever it was fucking called, and I touched some dragon bones while we were there, and after that, things got weird. I was like 13, 15 when it happened.
Why didn't it happen to anybody else who touched the bones? I'm sure plenty of naughty, rotten kids touched the bones.
To be fair, a lot of that area is not really traversed very much, and it's not exactly suitable for children.
I was gonna say, then why were you there? But we all know what a stellar A+ parent you have.
Yes, exactly. You'd think. I don't know. I don't know where I got to touch the bones, and then I got a friend out of it, or two, or I don't know, an evil super Satan son. I don't know. I don't have a son. I don't have a child. I didn't do anything. Except for Nori. Nori's my child. I got one child, but I didn't give birth to her.
It's like sort of watching this crash out occur. Like
we're all having a crash out in the cave.
It's like
everybody's having a crash out because we're all, and I'm just like, we're fighting Super Satan.
I was just saying, Nori will look up at you, Theo.
Felix gets a crash out, and then you get a crash out, and then I get a crash out.
Doran's like, I went from being normal guy to fighting Super Satan.
That's the title of this episode. The gang gets a crash out.
Who the fuck is Satan? No.
Honestly, that might be episode 51's title is Crash Out at the Cave.
Well, there's always sunny.
Felix makes like the shatter like hand motions again and is like, how bad of an idea
I could end it all.
It would be if I just broke the tree?
If you you can't break the tree. The tree
But
is
what if
the tree is not magic as in it's magic. The tree is the magic. If you broke the tree, I don't think you'd ever be able to cast Shatter again.
Also,
But if other
it's the
people couldn't
world
cast
tree,
Shatter-
so it might not just be magic, but life.
Also that. It's also the world seed, which turned into the world tree. And if the world tree goes, what happens to the world?
He moves his hand a little closer to the tree.
Yes, she slaps it.
It's like Nori sort of watching all of this. Theo,
Yes, Nori.
you've been really good at being a mom.
Please don't start crying.
Doran, you're good at this. Felix,
You just gestured to no.
it's like Felix. It's okay to not be violent when you're scared.
No, you say that to me.
And she walks over to you, Felix, and just kind of gives you a hug around your waist.
Child. For the viewers at home, Morgan is pantomiming Felix giving an awkward pat on Nori's head.
And she
Felix
releases the
hasn't been
hug,
around
walks
a lot of children.
walks over to Doran, gives him a similar hug, and then walks over to Theo and gives you a hug as well.
Theo,
Set just died. I'm sorry, I lost like a minute there.
it's all good. Not much happened in
It gave me
between.
no warning. It just turned off.
You're okay.
She's gonna give Nori the gentle hug back, and I feel like with the pose that Alex was taking in the camera, that Doran was preparing for some sort of words. Oh, okay.
I thought he was just stretching.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I was just like
Okay, I didn't. Okay, I didn't know.
like he doesn't.
Pantomiming more crash out.
Yes.
But Nori looks over. He's like, we should help the tree.
Do you have an idea on what we need to do for the tree?
Did the voice
Stop.
say?
If we can stop the agents of the darkness, we can stop whatever darkness is in the tree from doing its thing, we should be able to save the tree.
Did somebody say the door to darkness?
No, you get out
No.
of Mickey Mouse, Schmicky Mouse.
Michael Mouse, get out of here.
Willie,
I am
in the public domain.
confused on who the I am very confused on who the
Damn you,
enemy in this
Steamboat
story
Willie.
is.
All of them. All of them are everyone enemy.
Steamboat Willie and capitalism.
We have the dragon cults who apparently are trying to destroy the world. We have your mother who is
Your mom.
trying to destroy the world by claiming they're I don't know it. And then
World
Super
domination.
Satan.
Super Satan.
It's like the
Who are we stopping? What's going on? Where do we start? Like at this point, why the fuck are we going to Covenheim? What the fuck is a city gonna do against Super Satan?
Branneth
Felix comes in with the sign for the farm, like
Branneth
has the PowerPoint ready.
Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Branneth sort of steps up, and Branneth sort of steps up, and it's like, there's something about this tree. Something about this tree. It's tied to whatever. So I have some sort of weird dueling spirit or whatever like looks at whatever you had going on in you, I've also I think got going on in me.
He's got going on in him, points at Felix.
I say,
I don't have a dark passenger.
yeah.
You just have a dark brother. Evil brother.
I'm gonna stay here with the tree for now.
Questionable moral standing, brother.
Not gonna come with you to Covenheim.
Oh, you're gonna...
I feel as though I might be able to find something out here. And he like kind of looks at Doran. Doran.
Also, someone should stay with the apparently physical embodiment of life and magic itself on our plane of existence, because maybe we don't want it to get destroyed.
Yeah. I mean, he's like,
so like fun for Doran to have his first like major crash out. Doran's like,
Brandon's like sitting there. It's like, Doran has made a series of very excellent and well-reasoned points tonight, which means I think I'm going to stay. Hopefully, by the time you guys have, because, I mean, Doran, you're not wrong. Here's the issue. Just kind of gestures to the whole room. This feels like the 10,000 foot view, and then crazy mum trying to take over the world in the name of the protection sounds like more like 2,000 foot view. I imagine the cult's somewhere in the middle there, but I'll worry about this for now, and I will let you know if I can no longer handle it, so we can hopefully brainstorm. You guys worry about, just that 2,000 foot view for now. I think your plan of going to the city, I think that is the right one. And hey, hopefully, if you can raise the city against the Empire and take care of one of the problems, that might eliminate others. Dominoes and all that.
Well, Nori, I believe it was Nori who said just earlier that taking care of some of the agents, quote unquote, of the quote unquote darkness would assist in, grand scheme of things.
Hopefully.
Agents of darkness assemble.
How do we know do we even know what?
I think that my mother qualifies as an agent of darkness. Like, I think she probably qualifies as a threat and potentially had, instigating some of the Super Satan's plans.
We need a different name for him.
Need a new name for Super Satan. Super duper Super Satan.
Super Satan needs a in-game name. Super Satan.
I will say I'll say
what's the draconic word for evil?
Bad boy.
I will say for the sake of brevity, you leave Brandon with some camping supplies. He sort of sets himself up and begins kind of sort of like settling himself in. It's like, it's getting to evening. You all should probably stay the night here as well before heading out in the morning. But
probably.
I have a feeling if you're able to stop your mother, that's the first step in hopefully reversing or fixing whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah. Everything's great.
Doran proceeds to lie there the entire night looking like Phoebus does in that one like image from Hunchback of Notre Dame where he's just like
staring at the ceiling all night.
Just eyes wide open.
With eyes wide open.
I'm gonna at some point are you at a stopping part?
Oh,
I don't want to cut into what you're okay.
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna sit down like in front of my mind just blinked so bad. What's his name?
Brandon?
Brandon.
Okay,
Jesus Christ. That was actually painful for me because it was in my head and then just gone. I'm gonna sit across from Brandon and like pull my lute onto my lap and just like strum a little bit.
He eventually at some point pulls out a small like flute and is just like jamming alongside with you and just sort of absent-mindedly playing. What song do you play?
I feel like Brandith will know if this is a bad idea. I start playing one of the dragon hymns.
Okay.
Something well known. Like, it's not weird that a bard would know it.
Okay. He starts playing it, and then you watch as like he kind of takes like a natural improvisation into like almost creating a new verse. And there's an invitation there for you because like you sort of stop playing at this point when it's now, you know, when it's pure improvisation. It would not be rote music. And there's like he like sort of finishes. He sort of finishes off his part and just plays like almost like a continuation melody, like offering you the opportunity to come in and start improvising as you're on your own.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Do some sick riffs.
Roll me a performance check with advantage, as this is the first time you are actively doing new creations for the first time all campaign.
Being creative for the first time in your life, Felix.
Right.
I'm kidding.
Why is my persuasion so much higher than my performance? Jesus.
You're just so good at talkie.
19. Oh,
19?
no, sorry, that's incorrect. I was looking at the wrong modifier. 23.
23. Okay. You and I guess this kind of like alights both of you because you've heard Felix play before. You have never heard Felix play anything that was not already established music. So every song you've heard Felix play, it's the best version of like, you know, like every top 40 radio hit you've ever heard. But for the first time you hear Felix create something brand new, an entirely new composition. And you, for the first time ever, I think, truly feel the talent that is on display for Felix. You almost watch as like notes fly from the strings, and what the part that they were coming in on was like an almost like downturned minor key version of the hymn, but the journey of the melody almost takes you to the end of the world. And Felix almost like you felt that story all the way through, but like your fingers moving on their own, almost out of nowhere, an uplifting tune comes out, and it's the major key of the exact same thing you had just played, and everyone almost feel like the hope that flows from each of the notes. And as the two entwine together and this magical melody sort of lifts upward into the air, you watch as the tree itself, it glows very, 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 very lightly, but like the room itself almost fills with a magical glow. And as the song ends, you watch as a single pine needle that was like sort of petrified and no longer crystal sort of breaks and shatters. The rock breaks away and a fresh crystalline needle has sort of formed there in the tree, reacting to your guys' magic, your guys' performance together.
Oh.
Brandon looks up at that. It's like, oh, all right, maybe it's as simple as that. We just live, create, try to.
Like, you've got a lot of playing coming up.
Just gonna play some sick tunes for the tree. The tree just wants that sick ass beat.
Well, it gives me an idea, and maybe this is something worth.
They're gonna throw it back to you.
Might be
It's a
something
Wonderwall
worthwhile.
joke.
I
If you
know.
didn't get it, it's a Wonderwall joke.
We need hope.
7. The clue is 7.
He sort of looks up and is like, It might be just as simple as fight. If you're willing to fight for life, then life's gonna fight with you. I don't know. Ah, that's stupid.
No, life finds a way.
Yeah.
There's no Jurassic Park in this world. Quote Theo.
I
Created this sentence.
Life needs things to live. Quote Tals and Jeffy.
well, with that, hopefully it's a step in the right direction then.
Yeah. Hopefully.
And with that, we will end our session for today. Thank you all so much for joining us for another episode of Dances with Dice. When you use the hashtag DWDcast or DWDart, we'll try to use you as named NPCs in the show. Thank you all so much for joining us, and join us every single Tuesday for new episodes of Dances with Dice.